Hello sneaker lovers, welcome to Shoe Dog Review. Today we're looking at the Yeezy 350 V2 in the zebra colorway, and we're going to focus in on the Pulltab. Now why the Pulltab, you might say? Well, that's because it's probably the easiest way to visually, externally tell the difference between a retail and a replica if you're buying resale online. Okay, so we've got 6 replicas here. Before we look at those, we're looking at the pair itself, just so you can see the kind of variation you should be expecting from left to right. Don't forget these are attached by hand, and this is a knitted upper, so it's textile and it will shift around. So we're just going to quickly do a run through of the visual here. As you can see, there's a slight difference in the back curve there, because one of them's pulled in, one hasn't. Height's the same, silhouette's the same, everything else is the same. The text, size, everything else knitted on the same machine, so that'll be the same. But you do see that there is a little bit of variation between the left and the right feet. Okay, on the Pulltab itself, you can see one is slightly higher than the other, and the angle is slightly different. But as I say, this is one retail pair, matching, $7.5 US. Okay, so let's start looking at the replicas now. Replica number 1. Okay, well, it's not difficult, is it? Huge. Internally, the distance here much shorter, therefore this is longer. Externally, sticking way out and a little bit higher. So overall, it's almost double the size. Very, very, very easy to tell with that. I don't think anybody would have any problem. If they're buying resale online and they saw that, they'd know that it's a replica. Replica number 2. Okay, well, a little bit closer this time. Distance between lettering and end of Pulltab, almost the same, probably 3 or 4 millimeters difference there. Extension, a few millimeters bigger, so combined we're looking at 20 to 30% longer. But again, I don't think it's difficult to see that. Do you? You don't even need to get a ruler out, you can just do it by eye. Okay, replica number 3. Right, okay, again, significantly bigger, distance between lettering and end of Pulltab shorter, and extension out from the shoe longer. Combined, we're looking at 30–40% bigger, and the angle of it off slightly too. So again, not difficult to tell. Let's have a look at replica number 4. Okay, well, certainly sitting a little bit higher, certainly bigger, distance shorter here, therefore longer, extending into the shoe further, and actually the extension out isn't that much bigger, so from a distance that would be hard to tell, but if you look in close you can see it is actually much longer on the inside of the shoe as we look at it here. Again, an easy tell. Replica number 5. Okay, again, bigger, easy to see. Distance here, slightly shorter. Extension out, slightly longer. Combined, giving us a bigger Pulltab that you can't miss if you're looking at this. Even from photos, I think it's easy to tell. And replica number 6. Okay, well, in this case, actually the distance here is a little bit longer, but the extension out is pretty much the same. Height is comparable to the other foot of this retail pair, and the back curve also comparable to the retail pair. So this one actually is much harder to tell. This is where you have to start looking further into the shoe. I mean, if we look across this one, you can see there's a slight difference in colour on the sole. Probably if we analyse the knit, measure the knit, you might find some differences there. But if we're looking purely at the Pulltab and on foot, very hard to tell with this one. Okay, now let's go back to the original retail. remind ourselves just how different they can be in a retail pair themselves. Alright, so it's slightly different there, slightly lower. Alright, extension same. As I say, don't forget this is a hand applied detail. It's just stitched on here, so it would be placed, there's markers, but they're placed by hand. It's not placed by a machine. And I'll tell you why that is. It's because this is the curve here. You can't computer stitch that. You can't do it. So it has to be placed on by hand. They will have guides to help them, but you're going to have that millimetre or two variation. I think that's why if you look at retails themselves, you get some variation in like the knit, how it shows at the feather edge as well. Yeah, you can see that. And we'll be dealing with that in subsequent episodes. So I hope I've shed some light and given you some vocabulary here visually on the Pulltabs. So if you're buying resale online, you're less likely to get caught out. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time when we'll be looking at the boost and the knit tension. Thanks guys, bye.